parents, you taught your kids everything from tying their shoes to riding a bike. Now for another life lesson, that saving money is worth it and chores can be fun. Meet GoHenry, the debit card and financial learning app for kids 6 to 18. They'll check off chores in the app, set savings goals, and get their own customized card. It's easy to automate allowance, track spending, and more, so they get independence and you get to set the boundaries. Guide their learning every step of the way and stay up to date with real-time notifications in your parent app. Families love it. 92% of parents say their kids were more money confident after using the app. They'll love learning about money. Here's your tool to teach them. Get started at GoHenry.com, promo code GoHenry.
The Ham Radio 2.0 audio podcast rip. Thank you for downloading and listening to this podcast. So basically what I do is I take all the audio clips out of my videos and upload them to Spreaker, and then from there they're spread out to iTunes and SoundCloud and now Amazon Audible as well. But I want to welcome you and thank you for joining the audio section of this series on Ham Radio. I hope you enjoy it, and I would appreciate you leaving us a comment or a review on whatever podcast service you're listening from. Thank you, and 73. Hope you enjoy it. Good afternoon, Ham Radio 2.0 lunchtime live stream. Thanks for joining us today. See Philip in the chat. KO4AFL is in the chat. Good to have you guys in the chat today. I almost said Ham Radio Happy Hour because we're going to talk about that here in a second. But so Noel's in the chat today, and he's going to be my Frank because he hit me up a little bit ago, and he's like, "Hey, send me the links that you want to talk about today, and I'll be your Frank." I'm like, "That's generous of you to take on the role of Frank." Thank you, Noel. Frank went back to work. He's actually, he's been at work. He went back to his office as of July 1st. Yeah, July 1st. That was last Thursday. So, there's Frank and there's Frank. Frank can watch YouTube while in the office, apparently. But Frank's in the office today, so we won't see him on a lunchtime live stream again for a while. But he will be, presumably, with me at my Sunday night live streams and Ham Radio Happy Hour, which is coming up this coming Friday. I posted this link earlier, and Noel can share this link in the chat right now. So this link is up on YouTube right now. Ham Radio Happy Hour is this coming Friday, 2 days from now, 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time, which is 1 a.m. UTC, 1 a.m. Saturday morning UTC. This is a fun time. We get together once a month. We just talk about, we claim we talk about ham radio, but really we just talk about whatever. In fact, a lot of the times we end up talking about barbecue. Yeah, a lot of times we end up talking about barbecue, so which is cool. Definitely a fun thing to talk about. But yeah, everybody's invited to Ham Radio Happy Hour. I sent out a email to those of you who I'm inviting on the Zoom stream, and that went out an hour and a half ago, something like that. So check your email. If you think you should have gotten it, please hit me up in Discord. And you are welcome to join us. But, the rest of you can join us in the chat. I hope to see you that night. Speaking of get-togethers, a week from Saturday is our local POTA event. I haven't really given it a name. I'm just calling it a POTA event. Ray Roberts State Park local POTA event. I got an email from a gentleman in Central Texas. I don't remember exactly. A couple hours south of here. And he's like, "Hey, I'm going to drive up for the event and bring you some craft beer." And I'm like, "Yes, do that." So we're talking about, Frank hit me up the other day, and he's like, "Hey, how can we set up a grill out there?" So they have these little cheesehead grills. You can kind of see them in this pic right here. Right around there to the left of the pavilion and the right of the pavilion. They have those little, it's a grill, an actual grill, not a smoker. It's a charcoal grill. I don't know if Frank can do anything with that or not, or I don't know. Frank drives a freaking Honda, so he doesn't have a truck that he could actually put a grill in. So I don't know what we can do with that. But Frank and I are going to talk about some sort of food prep to do. Maybe he can smoke it the day before and just bring it out that day. I don't know. I don't know. So we're going to talk about some sort of food prep to do. I'll try to let you guys know that by this weekend. I'll hit Frank up again. He sent me a Discord message the other day, and he's like, what do we want to do? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't really know the answer to that. So we got to brainstorm about it a bit. But July 17th is your support your state parks POTA event that parksontheair.com actually does as an event. We're going to set up here Ray Roberts State Park, Isle de Bois Branch, which is this. I shared a Google Maps link with Noel, and he should be posting that in the chat here in a second. And if he hadn't done it, maybe he's done it already. Anyway, this is the Google Maps link, and this red dot here is a drop pin for basically where we will be. Here's Ray Roberts State Park. This is Denton right here. So we'll be basically right up there. And I'm gonna get out there early that morning, and I'm gonna set up my hex beam and set up my radios. And I think Shane K5QBF is gonna come up there and help me set up. He's mentioned wanting to do that. And then we're just gonna operate Parks on the Air all day long, hang out. Just I guess we'll be drinking some craft beer, although I won't be drinking any at 7 in the morning. But we're just gonna have a really fun event of. Everybody can look at the hex beam. Everybody can operate one of the radios I've got. Everybody can activate a park. I've never activated Ray Roberts State Park, so I'm going to activate the state park myself. Probably be using the Hammers app on my tablet, and you guys can look at that if you haven't seen that yet, and all just kinds of good stuff. Just talk about Parks in the Air and that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to that event. I haven't never done an event like this locally, so I think it'll be a good time. So really looking forward to that. More to come on that. We'll talk about that on the happy hour on Friday. We'll talk about that on my Sunday night live stream. I got a special guest coming on this Sunday. Should be an awesome Sunday night live stream for you guys coming up this weekend. And then we'll be back on this channel next Wednesday with Eric from the QSO Today Ham Expo talking about the new expo coming up in August. They're doing their fall event in August. We're going to talk about some of the mishaps they had this last spring, how they've corrected those, and what to go from there. So a week from today, I'll have Eric on the show, and I haven't planned that link yet, but it'll be on the. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and you'll see those notifications come up. Last thing I'll talk about today is I have on my website, my Friday shopping videos have been quite popular for the last year and a half, and I'm gonna continue doing them. I love doing those videos. But I set up a permanent page, which I've talked about on the shopping video for the last couple weeks. I've set up a permanent page with affiliate links that support the channel. Some of these are affiliate links. Some of them are not. Affiliate links that support the channel and coupons. There's Better Safe Radio coupon here that everybody can use. Bridgecom Systems, these are affiliate links. Buy two-way radios. One or two of those are affiliate links. Gigaparts, these are 5% discount codes for my subscribers, for my viewers. You don't have to be a subscriber, just a viewer. You can click on this link. It gives you a code, takes you to a special page on Gigaparts' website, gives you a 5% discount code for their masts and tripods, Rig Expert antennas, and M&P coax. 3 different sites, 3 different codes. You can get all that from here. There's my Radiodity coupon, which gets you $15 off of a $65 or more order. There's daily deals at RNL.com. I'm always talking about RNL, why you should go check their website every day because he has a different daily deal every day. And then I might actually have a link with Palmetto State Armory and 511. So, yeah, PSA. Nice folks in either North or South Carolina. I can't remember where they are. Palmetto State Armory. If you don't know who they are, go look them up. Really nice folks out there. Traded some emails with them a while back. Might be doing some stuff with them later on another channel. Sort of, kind of, maybe. I don't know. But Noel's going to share the link to this in the chat. And so you guys go check that out. And I'll be adding to that site. I've got 2 or 3 more things I haven't added yet for coupons and discount codes for you. So I'll be adding those as time goes on and I get those going. So let me switch over to my presentation view here and unmute all of the things. Steve and Chuck, how are you guys today?
Fantastic, Jason. How you doing? Doing great. How are you?
I am alive, so I can't complain. So what's okay, so I invited T.O. onto the stream today, temporarily offline. That's the guy on the left, in case those of you who don't know him. Everybody should know T.O. And Chuck came on because you guys do some weekend streams together. So I just wanted to invite you guys on today. Thanks for taking the time out. Steve, you're in Central Time, aren't you?
I am in Central Time, the
Okay,
best
so
time zone
Yeah, so it's actually your lunchtime right now.
until I move.
Yeah. Are you moving?
Oh, I don't know, but
Everything's an option, right?
Everything's an option. Yeah. So move to Texas. Everybody else is doing it. So, but yeah. So you guys, thanks for coming on today. And I'm going to give you guys the floor for a few minutes and just talk about. You can talk about Coffee and Ham Radios. Steve, I want you to talk about your Ham Nugget show, which I was a guest on that show when you first kicked it up. So so feel free. The floor is yours. Please go.
Chuck, you get started.
I get started. We do ham radio, coffee and ham radio on Saturdays and Sundays, and some Wednesdays. Actually, we're doing it on Wednesdays also, evenings and mornings on the weekends. Early here for me, it's 7:00, but 9:00 Central, and we just have a good time. We pick a topic, and next week next Saturday we're going to have George from Pactina. He's going to join us, and not quite sure what we're going to talk about yet. It could be setting up
antennas.
Well, antennas, of course that, but also maybe something talking about setting up your shop. And then on KK6USY Ham Radio Ventures, I'm working on a portable hex beam right now, actually, and I worked on it yesterday. I printed out some parts. I got a new printer, playing with that, and it's a learning curve, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Hasn't been too bad, really.
I saw that link you guys shared. I don't remember where that was. Was that on Nuggets the other night, or was that on it might have been in Discord. I can't remember the hex-beam.com or .org or whatever it was, where you can
the site?
Yeah, it was a website link to make your own hex beam. Is that what you're following?
I found the centerpiece that was printed off of Thingiverse.
Okay.
Printed it, and it kind of fits. It fits like not the first two sections of the poles I had, but the poles I had were too long anyhow.
Okay.
It fits the starting at the third one, which is in a pretty good fit, because he was using a different brand of pole, but and I happen to have 6 of them. And right now I was trying to print out some little holders for the 20-meter wire, and I don't know. I'm going to have to reset up how that prints, because it didn't like the way he printed them all in like little pieces, and then joined them together. And I think it caught. I was outside pulling gutters off when it happened. So
okay, that looks like it would be a fun project. Maybe it's something I'll attempt after I build my DX Commander. Who knows when that'll be?
Yeah, I actually have the 20-meter wire already built, and I had an extra 6-meter one from my 6-meter build that I did years ago.
Okay,
on that little small one. And I found the wire. So that the other day, I'm like, oh, where are these? I have wires wrapped up. And it's like, what antenna is this? And
yeah.
And I could tell if it was a hex beam setup. So
cool. Well, cool, man. That sounds like a fun project. Seriously, I know.
Yeah, and it shouldn't take near as long as Jason took to put Ham Radio TV to put his together. I think I can do mine in about 10 or 15 minutes once I get it done.
Yeah. Are you gonna be making it to be? You said portable, right? So you're gonna make it to where the arms break down?
Oh yeah, it's all on poles that are the mast are 24 inches each, and they just come out. I don't know how the buddy pole. I've seen pictures of your guys' buddy poles, but I don't know how they work.
It's like a tent pole. It's like they've got the elastic rope or paracord in the middle of them, and you just kind of pull them apart and then fold them.
I thought about those too.
So it's just like a tent stake, very similar to a tent stake.
I thought about those because they're nice and flexible too.
Yeah, they're pretty heavy duty too, man. The wind we had at Winter Field Day when I put that thing up had that thing 90 degrees. I mean, the hex beam was sitting there like this, and then the wind one time and blew it like 90 degrees to the side, and it bounced right back. So
yeah, you only need like a little over 11 feet per pole. It's like 11 foot,
something like that.
133 and a quarter inches to the 20-meter.
If you're just doing 20, that's true. Yeah,
20 is the biggest one. Well, unless you want to do 40, I'm not going to mess with 40.
They make Radio Waves make some add-ons that they claim will work with other brands of hex beams that connect to the outside of all the poles to add a 40 meter. It's not a half wave 40 meter the way that the rest of the bands are. I think it's like a quarter wave or some kind of compromised 40 meter, but I've never used it. I don't know how well it works or doesn't work, but I've always been interested to try it though.
Yeah, I talked to a guy on the air one night, and we were on 40, and he's back in like Florida someplace, and I'm like, what are you using? You know, because I was on my just my doublet, and he was using a Moxon, but he told me the Moxon which is very similar. He, you only uses 4 poles, but he was on a 40 meter Moxon that was a quarter wave instead of a half wave.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna see, once I get it up, I'm gonna see how close that 20 is to 40 also. And it may not be a perfect pattern, but it might work. So I'll see if I can cut it to where it's kind of a little bit of both. I might do that, but more for 20.
That would be a fun experiment to do. To do something adding onto a hex, because you don't see a lot of those, or even like a 30 meter. If you want to do a 30 meter element on a hex beam that you could do CW and or FT8 on, that might be something that's kind of fun. So
for now, I'll probably keep mine at 20, 15, and 10, hoping that 10 comes back.
Yeah, 10's been up and down. So cool, man. Well, hey, thanks for taking.
With MailChimp, you get more than a URL. You get an all-in-one marketing platform to help drive sales. With things like data-driven recommendations and powerful automation tools. Get started today at MailChimp.com/smartmarketing. MailChimp, built for growing businesses.
Taking the time out today. Tom's making fun of me in the chat for the DX Commander, and that's okay. That's all right. I've got a really cool video planned for that. So
see, now you can't even put it together, because then we'll just all be right.
No, yeah, that's true. That's a good way to look at it.
Just keep it going. How to keep an idiot in suspense, right? When will it be done?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So good.
Thanks, an idiot.
Thanks, Chuck. Appreciate it. Yeah. What's up, Steve? How you been?
I've been doing pretty good. We've been doing this Nuggets thing, I don't know, for almost a year now. I want to say.
I was thinking so. Yeah.
Yeah, we had quite a few guests on there, and we're at the point now where people are seeing the show today that didn't know that the show's a weekly thing. Like, they just kind of like, oh, what's this? Oh, I'll watch. Oh, this is neat. I'm like, yeah. Now there's like 50 or 60 of them behind you. So the object of the show is kind of, like, let's talk to somebody who is a ham and figure out why they got interested in being a ham and what they enjoy about the hobby and what kind of gear they have. And maybe you'll be able to pull some nugget of wisdom out of the conversation and be able to apply that to whatever you do. But at the very least, at the end of the run of watching all of them, there'll be a fantastic cross section of what the hobby actually looks like and is actually made up of. Some people do POTA, some people do SOTA, some people do CW, some people do build, some people operate. I don't know what that's about. But it's like everybody's got their own niche, and we call this the hobby of 1,000 hobbies. Everybody's got their own niche in this hobby, and we can all come together on some common grounds. It's like, people like to watch football, but you have your favorite team. It doesn't mean that you hate each other.
True. Well, that's a good way. That's a good analogy, I guess. So.
You've never been in the Bay Area with the Raiders and the Niners.
Yeah.
Oh, my father-in-law's got this. We live on the Minnesota side of Wisconsin, so my father-in-law's got one of those flannel blankets where you tie the fringe together to make the two pieces come together. And he's in the stands and he holds it up. It's like, go Green Bay! And on the backside, it's got Vikings on it. Everybody behind him is like throwing stuff at him. Like, yeah, you can't really take that. You've got to take one or the other, but not both.
Yeah.
I'm sure Jason has it. You guys got a couple states, different teams in Texas, right? You got Dallas and Houston.
Yeah, but Houston hadn't had a team for as long. The Cowboys have been around for decades,
right?
And I think the Texans have been around for maybe a decade or two. I don't follow football. I'm not I don't enjoy football. I know the Dallas Cowboys are there. I've been to some Cowboys games. I've never been to a Houston Texans game, but I honestly, I don't care.
I love going to the games in person. There's a whole energy that exists that doesn't exist. We were traveling, especially, and we went to Colorado, and it was when Colorado Rockies were in the World Series a couple of years ago. Like, I don't know, 15 years ago. It's a long time now. And I didn't know
baseball.
Yeah, baseball. Now I changed subjects a little bit. Okay. Squirrels.
Right.
We were in a bar, we were having dinner. I didn't know that it was the World Series. I didn't know that the Colorado Rockies were in the series. I had no idea what was going on, but there was just this electricity in the air because people were actually there in the bar wearing their Rockies gear, watching the World Series and having a blast. But you could literally just like feel the energy in the room, and you don't get that same effect watching the game on TV.
You don't. In fact, I had that exact same thing happen to me when we were on vacation 3 or 4 or 5 years ago in Playa del Carmen. We flew into Cozumel, I think.
Soccer.
Cancun.
See, changing again.
We flew into Cancun. Yes, we flew into Cancun, and we took a taxi down to Playa, and we stayed there for about a week. That's when Mexico was in the World Cup. So we went down to like downtown Playa del Carmen, where all the bars and restaurants are, and like every bar and restaurant was standing room only, and everybody was watching. And it was just, it wasn't even that. That's not even where the event was, but just like all of Mexico was so excited that Mexico was in the World Cup. It was just, it wasn't even live right there, but you could still feel the static in the air from that.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool experience.
I'll tell you what, my son was a huge, I forget the guy. He was in soccer. My son was a big time soccer player, and well, for up until school, but so he wanted to see this guy play. So my wife and I got him tickets up in Seattle. They were playing in the Seattle where the Seahawks play. First sellout ever in that place ever. The Seahawks had never sold it out, and I'll tell you what, I've been to a lot of playoff games for the Niners and stuff like that, and there's a lot of energy, but I think that soccer one up in Seattle there was more energy than any place I ever been. And the whole crowd, they're all chanting and singing, all together. It's like even the two teams that don't like each other, they're all like just having a big party. They have a lot of drunken brawls, I think, sometimes in those soccer matches.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Well, in any sports thing, they had to cut those things back.
True. That's true. Hockey.
Oh yeah.
Half of hockey is the fights.
That's right.
Yep.
So I don't know how we got on sports, but
especially with these three.
Yeah, really. But so back to the subject at hand. Steve, you were talking about the Nuggets thing.
Yeah.
And which I thought was really cool. And you know what? I still get people coming on my channel. Like I did a DMR video about a month ago, and somebody commented, they're like, Jason, you didn't explain what DMR was. And I'm like, I've literally made like 6 videos on that over the last 6 years explaining what DMR is.
Yeah.
So it was a new person to the channel. And, it was a legitimate question, a legitimate comment. He wasn't trolling or anything, but I'm just like, so people finding your show now, that's never going to end.
Yep.
I didn't know this was a weekly thing, but yeah, weekly thing. Monday nights at 8 p.m., I think, right?
7 Central.
7. Okay. Monday nights at 7 Central.
Yeah.
For ham nuggets. I probably got a couple of suggestions I could throw your way if you're
Oh yeah. So it's a totally volunteer show, and by volunteer I mean someone volunteers you, and then I go hunt you down and get you on the show, because it's very rare that I have somebody volunteer themselves to be on the show. But I got a couple of interesting guests coming up. Jason from Ham Radio TV is going to be up next Monday. The following Monday, you guys really got to mark your calendars for this one, because my girls are coming back from the Youth on the Air camp, which is next week. And so they're going to take over the Ham Nugget stream and talk about all the awesome adventure and fun and good times and friends that they met while they were at the Youth on the Air camp.
That should be awesome.
And
that'll be really fun to watch, I think.
Yeah, and then we've been talking behind the scenes and all the different discords that everybody's ham radio channel is connected to about this one thread on QRZ, about this one guy that made this one comment that 3,000 pages later, people are still arguing. They're just like repeating their same points over and over again to see which one of them can actually get the last word in at this point. Yeah, so Andy's going to be a guest on the show, and Andy was really like, he did not expect that thread to go that way, and we're going to talk more about how he enjoys the hobby, and he used to actually do a YouTube channel himself and all kinds of other cool stuff.
Is Andy the guy who started that thread?
Yeah.
See, I thought that I thought his comments were very even keeled and not offensive and pretty. Yeah, he was just like, hey, I feel this way. People may not agree. And I didn't take any offense to those comments at all. It was all the other guys who come in. Well, I mean, didn't take offense really.
The other 3 guys.
Overall, that thread on QRZ, it did explode. You're right, but that was one of the more tame threads I've read.
Yeah.
On QRZ, I've certainly seen threads that are much more bashing than that one was. So that wasn't too too terribly bad, I didn't think. And the original poster, I think he made some good points, I think. So
Yeah. And then we're going to balance it all out. After we talk to Andy, we're going to talk to Fred from QRZ, and he's
Good.
going to be a guest on the show. And we'll get to see what got Fred interested in the hobby. And Fred's been doing QRZ for a long time. It used to be that you that you purchased a copy of a CD and it got mailed to you. And it might even go back earlier than that. And there might be versions on floppy disks floating around somewhere. So
there used to be a big manual that was this thick that was a call sign data, wasn't a database, a call sign logbook that you could order. It was a book.
What? Book?
Like it's a book. Yeah, I have one around here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But I inherited someone from somewhere at some point in time. This was 3 or 4 years ago. Someone contacted me and said, "Hey, my mother or father, whoever it was, passed away, and she's got like 400 volumes of back issues of QST."
Yeah.
It's like, "Do you want them?" "Sure, I'll take them." And they went back. I got the one that from my birth month, and they went back to like the 50s. I wasn't born in the 50s, but the one from my birth month was there. Birth month and year was there, in amongst all these magazines between 2005 maybe and back to the 50s. But there were a couple of call sign logbooks from like 1986, 1988. This is before internet days. This might have even been before CD days. I don't remember when CDs first came out, but yeah, you used to be able to buy a logbook, and it looks like a big phone book. Look it up by call sign, KM9G. Oh, there's Steve right there, and his address. That this was printed, 6 months ago. It's probably changed 3 times by now. So
especially for me, yeah. Can't nail me down.
But yeah. So but yeah. Anyway, so that's where QRZ came about, and it was a fantastic idea. I've traded a lot of DMs with Fred on that website. He's a nice dude. He's a very welcoming individual that does a lot for the hobby, I think. So I'll be interested to see him come onto your show.
Yeah, and so you mentioned getting a big back catalog of QST magazines, and a friend of mine did. He had like 5 years worth of QST magazines, and I will say that the like letters to the editor section makes a lot more sense when you've got like a year's worth of magazines in your hands, because you'll get like this month's magazine, and then by the time next month's magazine comes around, you'll just forget what the conversation was about. But I was reading, there's like 4 or 5 months worth of people talking back and forth to each other about something that happened 6 months ago in the magazine, and you'd like 6 months into the future, you've just lost all of that content. So it's a different enjoyment of the content when you can do it that way. So
agreed. Yeah, that's a good.
Sit down on the couch and just flip through in order.
Yeah. Don N5SKT said he had an ARRL. He hadn't had an ARRL call book, so.
I've never seen one, so I have to look around.
Yeah. I think I sold the 2 I had on eBay for like $5 a piece or something. I didn't want to keep them, but someone was interested in them. Kind of nostalgic, so it was kind of fun. All right, so that's the Nuggets show, which is Monday nights at 7 p.m. Central, and you guys do Coffee and Ham Radio, but you do it, and Chuck mentioned it a little bit ago, and I was just aware of the Saturday and Sunday ones, but you kind of flip around between 4 different channels that you flip around between?
On Saturday and Sunday, yeah. We rotate it between Ape, Ham Radio Dude, Chuck, and myself.
Okay. And y'all just rotate it and then just do a live stream with all 4 of you talking about whatever subject, right?
No, we never have a subject.
You never have a subject.
Well, we usually do. We don't stick. We get about 15 minutes of it.
Right? Yeah. Well, you invite people onto your show to talk about ham radio, end up talking about sports or barbecue, kind of similar to what I do.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or beer.
Or beer. Yeah, that's the one I talk about all the time. So cool. Okay. Well, how does one understand where the next Coffee and Ham Radio is going to come up?
Yes, you just got to ring the bell on the channel and know that it's going to be at 9 a.m. Central on Saturday and on Sunday somewhere. But if you're subscribed and you've rang the bell on our 4 channels, it will be on your dashboard Saturday morning when you're ready to eat breakfast.
If YouTube works correctly.
Sometimes.
So, yeah, sometimes, because that doesn't work all the time. I can tell you right now. Now, you guys got something on the calendar for Friday, too, don't you?
Yeah, we're trying to make sure that there's some ham radio content, something interactive, something that people can participate in 7 days a week.
Okay.
And so Chuck and I did a stream, what was it, two Fridays ago, Chuck?
Yeah, I think
Where we were talking about how to actually make a contact and help people with mic fright and things along those lines.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one, or part of
And
it.
yeah, and we tried to contact each other and figure out what band was open and how much power we needed and, you know, what the signal reports were. And that worked out really good. Oh, Ham Radio Dude's asking us for a dance.
I saw that. You guys can dance if you want to. I don't have any. I don't have any funny
so.
music.
No music?
Yeah,
There we
Just
go.
got to do it anyway.
I
We're
don't do
dancing
the
for you.
dance
We're
thing.
dancing for your $2.
You know what? I think Hayden from Ham Radio DX should now own the dance thing with that video he put up about that QRZ post. I think he like stole the show on that. So
He might have stole it, but Ham Radio Dude's the guy that invented it.
yes,
Yeah.
well, I agreed. That's very true.
Ham
But
Radio
Those
Dude
that
has a
can do,
ton of
those that can't
ideas.
steal, right?
when Hayden did his video and he inverted it upside down and they were dancing from the ceiling, I was like, okay, that's pretty funny. So, oh boy, that's good. Thanks, Sean.
What's the other guy's name? I forget his name, but I've been watching him for years. But he was hilarious
Yeah, he
with
is.
his
He was
wig
funny.
and stuff.
Yeah. I want to say Chris, but that's not right.
No, it's not
Peter.
Chris. Peter. That's
Peter.
it.
DK3YE.
Yeah, he inspired me a lot of stuff because he was Mr. Antenna Builder. I mean, and QRP, and I don't think the guy owns a pair of shoes because every time I saw him, he's on the beach barefoot and walking the beach, making contacts
sounds-
everywhere.
So jealous.
That sounds
No.
like my type of person right there.
He must live right by the beach or something.
Well, yeah. There's a beach all the way around Australia, right?
True.
There's a
So-
beach all the way around America, too.
Yeah, someplace.
No, there's not. There's not at the top and bottom.
Well, if you count.
There's no beach around the
count
top of the northern
Canada.
border of Canada?
Well, you're
or are
talking
you saying
about
that Canada's not America?
You said America, so I
didn't say the
United.
United
didn't say United
States of
States.
America.
That's very true. But there's actually ice at the very, very top of America, so that doesn't count.
Just a
There's
different
no
kind of
beach up
beach.
there. Different kind of beach.
Yes, it might be snowy.
Yes. Somebody told me I was talking about Costa Rica the other day. Oh, Costa Rica is an island too, and I'm like,
With MailChimp, you get more than a URL. You get an all-in-one marketing platform to help drive sales. With things like data-driven recommendations and powerful automation tools. Get started today at MailChimp.com/smartmarketing. MailChimp, built for growing businesses.
This song's about a dusty road, a pickup and some dreams. But everything about this tune ain't nothing what it seems. My voice is highly processed, the auto-tune is a show. Yeah, my country twang is a load of bull, I was raised in Buffalo. These beats come from a drum machine, the horns are synthesized. The songwriters from Hollywood, the lyrics plagiarized. Don't know much about the farm life, never lived in the country. I learned to pick a six-string cause my rap career was ending. Nothing in this song is real, cause real is hard to do. So I tip my thrift store cowboy hat to the ones who see it through. 100% real pork. America's pork producers make pork 100% real pork.
no, it's not. It's got water on two sides, not four. So, but
It's weird when you go to like Baja, you can actually see, you can how am I going to say this? Well, it's just different because you're close to both oceans,
Oh,
and
right.
it's just like it's just different. I
Hmm.
lost what I was going to say. Sorry,
No, that's
I'm
all right.
getting old,
Old man moment.
Yeah.
So where is the Coffee and Ham Radio this coming Friday?
Don't know yet. We still have to plan it out. Let me
Okay.
Do we have one?
see.
Well, there's one on the calendar, so I don't know what you guys are doing. It looks like it's the hour before my which Ham Radio Happy Hour is that night. That's my second Friday of the month, and it looks like you guys were going the hour before me. So I was going to share that link if you had one already, but if you don't, that's all right.
Yeah, we don't have one yet.
Okay.
Most of this stuff is like game time decisions, man. You know how that works.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, I did my show that way for a couple years. I try to do it. I try to be a little bit more organized about it. Organization and me don't get along very well, but I try to be a little bit more about it. But we'll see.
I tried to toggle some. I tried to toggle like 3 videos at one time, and I'm just like, I can't do that. I forget
Well,
which is
get in a
which. You
routine.
know,
Right. Yeah.
I don't have enough memory on my in my.
So it's
computer
really
to do
funny.
that.
The video that I did last night
Mhm.
just came out right at the right time, I think. Not because of the content of the video, but because of how I put how TO tunes an amp, not how
I saw
to
that.
tune an amp.
Yeah.
Like it's very specifically the way that I do it. And then
Yeah.
in the beginning of the video, I'm like, I just got this thing. This is what I've
Yeah.
learned so far. Like come along the journey with me. And then I did all that stuff that we got yelled at for in the QRZ thread of like, comment, subscribe, join, hit the button, do this, do that. I'm like, I did that like a month ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
That's a learning process too, right there.
Also on the front page of QRZ, I've noticed the last 3 videos I've posted on QRZ that they've put on the front page. They don't put all my stuff on the front page, but they put a lot of it there.
Yeah.
T.O., you've had a video right next to me on the last, and I'm like, are they just Jason T.O., Jason T.O., Jason? I don't know what they're doing. So
I don't know. Hayden
I
broke
don't-
them the other day. His
I
video
know
got
it.
on before it was even released. I don't know how that happened.
Right, yeah, he didn't post that. He said one of his subscribers or his patrons, I guess, posted or something. He's
Oh.
like, and then they removed it. But if you look in that thread that Andy started, if you look on like page 27, that somebody posted a link to Hayden's video there. So it's back up there, but it's not in the top news section the way where most of them are. But
Yeah,
They
that-
move them all the time, though.
they do, yeah. They move
Yeah.
stuff around all the time, and that's the admins doing that. That's not us
There's a
doing
lot of editorial work. They actually also edit some of the posts too, which is hard.
Yeah.
I've never seen them edit one of my posts. Well, maybe one of my replies, but
Yeah.
not my actual because when I post stuff, I just say, "Hey, here's the topic. Here's what we get. What we talked about. Brief summary, and here's the link." And that's all I do. I don't make comments about anything.
Well, I mean, like, why would you watch
In
the
the-
video if I tell you everything that's in the video
Exactly,
in the QRZ
exactly.
post?
Exactly.
Right.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I just
It's
give
a
this
tease, right? You're supposed to tease it just
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Give an idea what it's going to be about.
Mm-hmm. That's the.
I find it
that's the
hit or
point of
miss
it.
for me on there. I've had I've probably posted on there 6 times, and probably 2 of them made the front part. Maybe 3, maybe half of them.
I've posted on there several times, and not only did it not make the front page, it only got a few views. So
Right.
they put the stuff on and a lot of people don't know this because I've been accused of putting too many of my videos on the front page before. What goes on the front page is completely up to the discretion of the admins of QRZ.
Exactly.
We have no control over that whatsoever as people who post there. In fact, every time you post a news article to QRZ, it goes into moderation. They have to approve because I've been accused of putting spam on QRZ before, and I'm like, how is it spam if a moderator approves it?
Right.
You know, and I put one post up there one time about something that was kind of like not really I think it was an overlanding something. They moved it to another forum and then they approved it. And then they put some stuff and they just approve it and don't post it to the front page, and other stuff they post to the front page. And it's all done very, I mean, sometimes there's multiple admins, so they're not really consistent, but they're semi-consistent.
Yeah, it's just not auto approved straight to the front page. This
Right,
guy's
exactly.
golden.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah,
we got to
exactly.
earn it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I asked Fred about that one time, and he's like, "Well, we try to put stuff up there that we think is going to be the most engaging." Like my interview with John Kirk from Yezu was up there like within 24 hours of me posting it. My interviews with Derek from QSO Today Ham Expo, those are up there pretty quick. But I don't post like my happy hours there. I don't even post them on QRZ because it's just a bunch of
not
us getting
relevant.
together, acting goofy is all it is. So.
Oh, Andy's a mod on QRZ.
Oh, that's
Watch
bad.
out,
news.
world.
Andy's a mod on QRZ. Wow.
Uh-oh.
Hmm.
He
Hope
must
we
be the
don't-
one that gets mine through then, because
Right.
it's like I'm a
Yeah.
1 for 3 or 4 or something. To be fair, my last one was very similar to Tio's, and Tio beat me by 2 days on it, so
Yeah.
I can see why they probably didn't put that one up.
It's
Although
not
I had,
breaking
I
news
had-
when I covered it
I
2
had
days prior, man.
no,
Yeah,
I take it
that's right,
back.
that's
I
right.
take it back. Mine was the updated one that actually confirmed that it was going to be a radio. So that
Oh, you're
The
talking
new
about
Zygu.
the new Zygu, yeah.
yeah.
it's
So
gonna be a fun radio.
they probably just didn't
Mhm.
catch that it was that
Mhm.
updated one. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, all 4 of you guys put out a video like that kind of all at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know which one
Yeah.
of you was first, but I saw it and I'm like,
Dude was first.
So dude stole it from the Coffee and Ham Radio's talk with Dennis, because Dennis is in dude's video talking about it. And then we're all like, you should do one. You should do one. No, you should do one. And then we all just sat down and did one. And then it all went out. And now we're like, all right, now how am I going to get mine to get more views than Chuck's? And then Chuck's like, I got to get more views than dude. I don't know what you're talking about. And then we're just trying like, yeah.
And
I like that, though.
it's like our build nights. They're all a little bit different. So, dudes was basically from the stream, and mine and Tio's, and then Apes was even more different. So, and then I had found, I think if Thomas Witherspoon says it's going to be a radio, it's going to be a radio.
Yep.
Because he's like the first guy to get
a nugget coming up also.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because he'll probably see the first one, I'm sure, or one of the
I like his
ones.
call sign too, K4SWL.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's on purpose, I'm sure. But
and
videos about upcoming radios that are not really even a thing yet, I find do very well.
Yeah,
I did one on the ID52 like a year and a half ago. That was a good video on my channel. I did one on this brand new Anytone DMR mobile radio that I did like a week ago, and it got a lot of watch time and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah,
in about a month, I'm going to do an ID53 video.
Yeah. There you go.
Because I know
That's
it's
a great
coming
idea.
out.
and then I'll do the 54 right after that.
It'll probably come out right about the same time the 52 does. So.
Yeah. I actually went looking. You can't buy a 52 or a 51 right now.
Oh,
that discontinued.
Chris got one.
Yeah, well, the UK guys, if you remember correctly, they got the 705 about a month before we did as well.
Australia did too.
So maybe that means we'll be seeing the ID52 in like August or something by Huntsville. Maybe by Huntsville we'll see the ID52. But what was it? Oh, the 51, they discontinued that thing. That thing's gone. Like you can't find that. You can't find the Kenwood D74. You can't find any of that stuff right now because
I needed a D-Star radio for the Yoda camp and couldn't find one.
Don't you have a 705?
No, I don't have a 705 at all.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Not at all.
Well, that's a D-Star radio, right? I mean,
yeah.
It does D-Star.
So I think our videos. I think Thomas was sitting on that X 6100 because he mentioned in his blog it was like the next day
Liberty
after our videos came out that he goes, well, since it's out there now, I guess I'll talk about it. That was like what, less than 24 hours after we put our videos out. So
when I saw y'all's videos out, I went and looked. I went and looked at Radiodity's website. I couldn't find it. I looked at Zygu.eu or whatever it is, Zygu.cn, whatever their website is. It wasn't on there. I Googled it, and I found some random. I think it was a QRZ Now post from months ago saying, this might be a thing. So I emailed Radiodity, and I'm like, dude, what's the deal? And he replied back to me like the next day, and he's like, he's like, you know how Zygu is. They're like a hurry up and wait. And I'm like, well, that's the entire radio industry, but okay, I don't really know Zygu, so I didn't know that. But yeah, and then it was like 2 days later after you guys did your videos that it popped up on the Radiodity website. So now you can pre-order it there for an undisclosed amount of money.
Yeah.
You basically you just go reserve one, and then he'll say, oh, by the way, it's going to be $1,500 when it comes out, or whatever it is. It's not going to be that much, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
well, if it's that much, nobody'd buy it.
not a
needs to be in that $600 range.
Yeah, I imagine that's probably what it would be, somewhere in that neck of the woods. I mean, if someone's going to spend $1,500 for a QRP rig, they can get a KX3 or a 705.
Right.
But yeah, I imagine the Zygu would be a little bit cheaper than that, but I don't know. Good. It should be an interesting radio. Those get a lot of traction on YouTube, and a lot of that 5105 is a neat radio, and it's kind of what it looks like with a GSOC case. The GSOC was a flop, was a piece of junk. So I mean, the GSOC itself was fine, but the implementation of it was terrible because nothing worked on it. It didn't do what it said it was going to do, and they said, "Well, firmware update," and I don't even think I still don't.
Never fixed it.
Not everything.
I didn't see any real reason for it. I mean,
no, you know what? When I first read about the GSOC, I thought it was going to be like a Flex Radio Maestro, where it would connect wirelessly to the G90, but it's not. It's got two wires that come off of the GSOC that go to the G90 or the 5105, and they're like 6-foot wires. And I'm like, okay, well that's cool, but why do I need this? Okay, someone who's going to be using
Dash mount.
QRP, I guess, but
Not for
somebody who's-
QRP.
not for QRP. Look, with the G90 and
No.
5105, if you want to put stuff in your backpack, you don't want to put a bunch of extra cables and a big screen in there. So I don't think they thought it out very well. They had this idea and they said, hey, this would be fun. Okay, let's do it. And then it was released and, oh yeah, we have to add stuff to that, don't we? I don't know what they were doing, but
I watched Chris's 705. I don't have a 705, and it was interesting though because I got something out of that video because he said my 857 will Bluetooth to repeater book.
that's something
And-
new
and
they
I-
just
and I-
implemented.
Yeah, and I have that. I have the. Well, I think he's been doing the 857 for a while. It sounded like.
Well, no,
this-
the repeater book Bluetooth interface is something fairly new.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I didn't know an 857 had Bluetooth. Honestly, I didn't know that.
I've got a dongle plugs right in the back. I've already got it.
Oh, okay.
I can actually
cool.
bring up a whatever size pad you have and have a screen off of kind of like your 7000. Only it's not the same
okay.
exact screen.
Okay.
It's not. I mean, it works okay, but
Yeah.
if you want a bigger, that was the big thing on the 857. Well, the screen's too small.
The screen's too small. Yeah.
But
Eggs
there was a
just showed
reason
up in
for
the
it.
chat.
It just made it nice and small in in your vehicle. That's why I bought it. But
Right.
Eggs is here, huh?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who is?
Megs. He's
Oh,
going by
Megs.
K5YVY amateur
Yeah.
radio station, but we know it's Meg.
No, it's Meg.
Well, he
yeah.
had-
I saw the Peter Griffin Meg. Shut up, Meg.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had on
That's
Megs
good.
last night on his on the stream.
Joe Meg's
Oh,
Brett.
I didn't see that y'all stream last night, but
You were there.
I was. Yeah, I didn't watch the whole thing though. We were eating dinner at the time, so.
Yeah, that's the thing with the 705 and the firmware updates and what happened. Like you get the radio, and a year ago the radio didn't make as much sense as it does today with all of the things that they've added on after the
Right.
sale. After like they didn't know that they didn't know it was going to do that, but now it can.
Right.
So
Right.
it's like it's got future built in.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I really like the whole Bluetooth, the option of Bluetooth being added to so many radios these days. All the new Anytone DMR radios have Bluetooth. The 705 has Bluetooth. I think the 9700 has Bluetooth. I think. But a lot of these newer radios are all having Bluetooth added to, and I'm just like, man, that's just a good idea. It's so versatile. You can use it to program. You can use it for headsets. You can use it for remote operation, remote microphones, all this kind
Plug
of
it
stuff.
into your car.
Yeah.
One of the people want to hate on the Chinese radios. A lot, well, not everybody, but a lot of people. But guess what they're doing? They're bringing stuff like that out, and that's going to push ICOM, Yaesu, Kenwood to do that stuff.
You would
People
hope
want
so.
it.
Yeah. People.
Hopefully.
The brand new. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying completely. The brand new Anytone HT came out 2 or 3 months ago, whenever it was, and it's $299. It's got an expanded database. Here it is, right here. It's the one with the green button on top. Right there. Comes with the extended battery. It's got an expanded database in it. It's got Bluetooth, true send and receive APRS. The old one had send but no receive. This one has both.
Oh, nice.
And it's $299. And when I did my first video on that, someone came along and they said, this is too much for a Chinese radio. You're getting into Yaesu FT3D territory here. It's too much for Chinese radio. And my response was basically,
It's a good radio.
Anytone has filled they have filled a need that none of the other big four, I'll call them big four, have been willing to fill. They've come out with this DMR radio specifically targeted at amateur radio operators that's dual band, because you can't get a commercial dual band DMR radio right now. And they've added all this stuff to it that amateur radio, because commercial DMR radios, they don't care about 500,000 contacts. Most of them are limited to 1,000, maybe 10,000 on some of the newer ones. But Anytone has filled this need. They have marketed it to amateurs, and they have polled amateurs and said, "Hey, what do you guys want?" And they've added most of, not all of it, but they've added a lot of the features that amateurs have asked for. So I'm like, if they want to charge $299 for a radio that no one else has, it's not available anywhere else, more power to them.
Yeah, the big guys were asleep at the wheel.
That's right.
Right.
And this is something that's been. I can't show you the radio because I haven't done my video on it. But you see the USB-C. charging?
That's
yeah.
USB-C. What, Chuck?
Mhm.
Chuck has a USB-C radio?
I know what it is.
Is that an FRS radio?
No, not really.
Okay.
You've done a review on it, And
I have.
so has Dude. Well, no, you
Yeah.
haven't, but you have maybe. I don't know because it's
Okay.
not what they said it was.
Yeah, there's a spoiler alert coming.
Yeah.
Chuck's trying to tease out his video.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be looking for that. I've done several videos with FRS/GMRS radios that have USB-C charging. Most of them have.
Yeah.
Most of them are still stuck at micro USB. This one right here is micro USB.
Well, or they don't have charging like that at all.
Or they don't have charging like that at all. Very
My
true.
UV5R
But-
charges over USB.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a third party charging capability. But yes.
No, I
you
mean
can
it's a cradle. When I got my UV5R, I didn't have the charging cradle, so I got
Yeah.
a Baofeng cradle. It
Mhm.
might not be, but it's got a USB plug on it, and that's what I use to
Yeah.
charge it.
my one of my I can't remember. I've got like 6 or 7 versions of this UV9 from Ocean Radio. One of them came with a cradle and a USB-A plug on it, and that's what I use to charge on. I keep that in my truck now.
Yep.
So it's but you can buy those on eBay.
Mhm.
You can buy USB charging cradles for various radios with a USB plug on them. So
This one
as long
doesn't
as
have it.
as long as the
It's just
voltage.
got the
Yeah, so that's the
plug.
cradle that I have, but the cable that comes out
Right.
of that for me is USB on
Oh,
one
right,
end,
right.
So
and it's
yeah,
barrel
that-
jack on the other,
Oh, I may
Right.
have that too. Who knows?
Exactly. Yeah. And if you don't have one, you can get them on eBay.
or make one.
So or make one. Yeah.
Right.
So it's
That
it-
is,
it
I
works.
never. I think Josh was the first person I heard that was talking about stuff like that, and I never really thought about it. But I've got like these things. Let me unplug it. These like
Chuck
chargers,
unplugged. Yeah, I've
Oh,
got
yeah.
one of those somewhere.
and it's so it's got a light on the back. I can
Yeah.
if you're going to do a video,
Yeah.
you can light yourself up, whatever. And it's solar, and I've got one that
Right.
has like 4 solar panels on it.
Mhm.
The first one I bought, I didn't think ever worked on the solar part, but
So the ones with
this one
so
does.
I've done 2 or 3 videos on my one with. Well, I've not done a specific video on it, but I've incorporated that panel into several of my off-grid radio videos. The great thing about the ones with one panel are okay. They're not great. The ones with the 4 or 5 panel layout, the great thing about those is you charge them up at night, plug them into the shore power, charge them up at night, and you go out in the field during the day when the sun's up, and you set the charging cradle or the charging solar panel out, and you plug your stuff in, and the sun keeps the pad charged.
Mhm.
So it's like perpetual energy all day long.
Right. I think
So
I
it's
saw
not-
yours too. I got the
Yeah.
one like you have also.
Yeah, the orange one. Or no, mine's black. But
Looks like
The-
a little
but-
briefcase.
Right.
It's got leather.
yeah. But the great thing about they don't charge very quickly if they're dead. But if you charge it via shore power, the sun will keep them charged
it
very
up.
well. And I've thought, shoot, I've charged my phone like 3 times and charged a radio and charged, maybe a tablet if I have a small enough tablet with me. And then it's just like sitting in the sun all
Mhm.
day, and it's like at 90% power at the end of the day. So I've had good luck with.
I
using it
put that
way.
one out when it's totally dead the other day, and it went from the 1 light to 2 lights, and it was just a couple hours of sunlight, so it wasn't too bad.
That's not bad. That's not too bad.
It's new. My wife bought them for me. That was one of the best gifts she bought me both of those for Christmas. So
That's
she goes,
good.
I don't know what you want. I go, well,
Well,
that's
you just
pretty
ain't been
good.
paying attention.
I was gonna say,
No, she
yeah,
actually-
Talk about it all the time.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
the one I don't know what to get
Yeah.
for because she knows what I want all the time. Seems like
My wife's like,
I'm not shy
"You
about
have-"
it.
My wife says, "You have enough ham radios. I'm not getting you one of those." I'm like, okay.
She doesn't know you very well.
I was gonna say, yeah, yeah.
Shoot, I know you got 3 of one radio. You got
Which-
3 7,000s, don't you?
Yeah, one of them
Oh.
doesn't work right, but yeah, I've got 2 7,000.
Adventure.
And, yeah,
Yeah.
so that's a great radio. I love that radio.
Really nice.
Yeah, I actually
screens
like
on those.
repairing them better than operating them.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that repair video that Rob did in the YouTubers
Mhm.
Hamfest was awesome. People were like, "Man, this is awesome. This is really cool to see someone actually take apart a radio and repair it, on a stream like what we're doing." So
I replaced the finals on an amp one time. That's about the most I've done.
Mm.
That one, you see the radio under the camera, right about there, up there.
Yeah.
I tried
Let's see
fixing
you
that one.
got-
I tried fixing that one, and it was an old Kenwood 2-meter, and everything just when I opened it up just fell apart. And it's like,
Oh, well.
unless I want to find a bunch of, I mean, it's like, I'll just keep it for looks or sell it
Yeah.
for parts, to somebody.
Right.
It probably works, if you could fix the whole front. It was just so brittle. I guess it was probably in one of my buddies, his dad passed away, and he goes, "Here, you guys." They gave me that 440 up there, the Kenwood, in that radio. And,
TS440.
yeah, that's a nice radio. That thing's loaded. It's got everything in it.
Yeah, I had one of those for a brief period of time. Somebody, I think somebody traded me one. I ended up selling it. I mean, it's those Kenwood radios. The thing about Kenwood radios, man, they still make like the TM710 and the V71A. Their stuff is just so solid. I mean, it's like old design with nothing special on it, but they just work and they're just really solid. So
I swear that Yaesu and Kenwood sell the exact same 2-meter radio. That one with the front firing speaker, they're identical.
Really?
Well, at least looks wise.
Now, oh yeah, the Kenwood's a TM281, I think. I don't know what the Yaesu version of that
it's
is.
It's a 31 or something.
Only. Yeah,
2-meter only.
Oh,
I've got the digital version.
The Fusion radio?
Well, they quit making the 32. I have a 32. The 31 is the 2-meter FM, and the 32 was I think was the digital and FM. I have that one, but they don't make it now.
It was a mono band though, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it has the front firing speaker, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
You want to put it in a box or something, like a Go
Right.
box or something. Perfect.
Right.
No extra speaker.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I had one of those 7250s for a while. It was okay, but I don't know. I really like my FTM 300 and I really like my FT 3D, but the mono band and kind of watered down if I can use that phrase, watered down versions of the Fusion radios like the 7250 and the FT70, I was like, whatever.
I bought that one for my Forerunner. It's nice and small and had the front firing speaker, which was nice.
Yeah, I mean they certainly serve a purpose. It's just a matter
and all
of
I
what
ever
you want.
use out on the road is 2-meter anyhow. It's it's 65 watts, I think. So
yeah. That's it's got a good output
so
for sure.
You like the 300? I like the I like the bracket for that. So you can, if you had an extra bracket, you could switch that from vehicle to vehicle.
Right.
It's quite the, but I haven't looked at it. I should have looked at it when I was HRO. Dang it.
I like the 3. A lot of people were complaining that the screen was small, but I think it filled a market because the first one they ever came out with was the 400 with a huge screen.
Right.
And they still make the 400. So it's like, well, get the 400 if you want the big screen, and get the 300 if you want the small screen. Now the 3, I've never owned a 400, but I'm told that it will only do Fusion on like the top band, or is it the bottom band, or one of the bands? I don't remember which one it was.
I think that was the APRS, right?
I thought it was Fusion. I was told that it would only do Fusion on one of the bands.
Oh, I don't know for sure. I know that APRS, like on the 3A, is only on one of the. It's like the B band, right?
All right. Well, when I was demoing the 300 the first time, I went into Fusion mode on both bands, and that's what people were saying. Oh, it'll do Fusion on both. And I was like, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know the 400 wouldn't do that. But maybe that's an earlier version of the 400.
It could be.
I don't know.
Firmware thing, or
but yeah.
Have you seen the older one that looks like the ICOM? Was it 5100? It's an older Yaesu. It was a 350. Have you seen the 350?
Oh yes.
That was a cool looking radio.
That was a cool looking radio. The original 350 had a 5-watt output on 220. It was actually a tri-band radio.
Yeah.
Was that a US? What was the 65-watt radio we just mentioned? Was that the 281 again, or was that a different radio?
The one I had I think it's the FT 3200D.
The Kenwood 281 is a 65-watt radio, yes.
Oh,
but
it
I
is
think
too.
I think Yaesu has one also.
I think they're the same radios, really.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Because like back in the day, all the Cobras, all the boards inside were Unidins.
Oh yeah.
Unidin made all those basically.
Yep.
I never knew that until I started opening things up.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I've ever opened up a CB.
I know nothing.
Yeah.
So
no golden screwdriver here.
No golden screwdriver. Yeah. Oh, now you're talking my language. Steve, you have an All-Star node.
I do.
Okay. I saw you. Dennis was connected to my hub at one point in time. And I pulled up the bubble chart, and I'm like, oh, Steve is connected to Dennis.
Yeah.
But it doesn't show on my Supermind. I couldn't see you there, but I could see you on the bubble chart. So yeah, you should connect up and talk on All-Star sometime.
We should. I moved some stuff around in the shack and it's disconnected. I need to build a shelf because now I've got all these Raspberry Pis that all do different things.
Yeah.
and I've got all these handy talkies that all need different charging cradles, and it's
Right.
I know.
Yeah.
it's an inch deep and a mile wide.
Yeah. Yeah. My I took my Sherry node to field day. So I unplugged it, took it up there, plugged it in. I was on it most of the time. And I unplugged it, and then I brought it home, and I plugged it into the wall. My wife keeps unplugging it because she keeps stealing the USB-C cable to charge her phone. So I need to.
Lock that
So that's
down.
I'm not.
Get her another cord, man.
I looked at it. Well, she had another cord,
Oh,
and I guess she took it with her somewhere because it's like not on the kitchen counter anymore. So I'm like, you're using my cord for this, and you use your own cord. So I looked at my Supermon here before we started the live stream. I'm like, why is my All-Star node? Oh, she unplugged it again. That's why. So I need to move the Sherry node elsewhere where she wouldn't see it and plug it back in and get connected back to that. But yeah, everybody connect to 43136, which is that's my hub, which is on 24/7, and then my Sherry node I'll connect to that. And I'm trying to get Frank to finish his Sherry Pie hat that he built but didn't finish.
he's putting it on a hat.
He's real close to finishing it.
He's pretty close to finishing it. Yeah.
And Susan Nagy says that the FTM 400 does only do fusion on the A band.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. I mean, again, I've never owned one, but
I haven't
after my
either.
300 video, that's what someone told me. And then 2 or 3 people came along. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. So,
I think it's the same thing with the A/S too, though. I think it's only
well, it could be.
which you don't really need more than one anyhow, right? I mean,
Yeah.
just
yeah,
send a
not
signal
really.
out.
Not really. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Wayne's in the chat. He's constantly connected to my hub up here too. So he and Kyle's connected there a lot of times as well. So, all right. Well, hey guys, thank you very much for your time today. We've been going about an hour.
Thanks for having us,
And,
man.
I know that you guys are probably got stuff to do, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. But let me know what that link is. Figure out what the link is going to be for Friday night, and I'll share it out because it'll be like the hour before my happy hour. And I hope both of you guys can make it to the happy hour after you're done with your coffee. Go drink some coffee and then come and drink some beer with us.
Yeah.
So
Uppers and downers, man.
uppers and
Speedballing.
downers. Yeah, totally. Yeah. In
The
fact,
last-
if you just
the
be
la-
good game and drink coffee beer, so
Right,
that just solves everything.
The last one I was with you, I actually poured a Michelob Ultra into a glass so nobody knew what I was drinking.
Cheater.
Well, I've been on a diet.
Even
and
Ape would yell
it's-
at you for that.
Yeah.
I know Jason says for a light beer, he likes that one, I think.
You know what? That one's not
It's
bad.
okay.
I
It's
mean,
okay.
if you want a beer and you don't want a bunch of calories, okay, I'll
And that's
drink
why
that one. But
I've
yeah,
been dieting.
Yeah.
So
Frank's having
Yeah, it's-
withdrawals.
yeah.
Oh,
I
man, it
saw
was-
that. Frank's having
hey,
withdrawals.
Frankie, Jason says it's the best stream ever on lunchtime. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. What are you saying about that?
Frank's good. Frank's a good sport.
Yeah,
so.
Frank's fun.
Cool. Well, hey guys, thanks a lot. Look forward to talking with you again soon. Hopefully you can make the happy hour Friday night, and I'll keep a watch out for that Coffee and Ham Radio the hour before that. But definitely, Noel's been sharing links to both of your channels, the
great.
KK6USY
Thanks, Noel.
and Temporary Offline. He shared links to both of those in the chat. So you guys go check that out if you're not familiar with both of those channels, and then go subscribe to them so you can catch the Coffee and Ham Radio. 9 a.m. sometimes too early for me on the weekends, but I catch the ones I can. If it looks like you guys actually have a subject that I'm interested in, I'll turn it on if I'm awake. But
It's too early
but
for Ape too.
yeah, he always sounds like like he's groggy or something. He's like
Morning.
Yeah, good morning.
It's
and,
really early for me.
Yeah. It is really
Nah,
early for
Chuck, you
you.
get up at 3 a.m. every morning.
Man, I've been waking up at 4. The dogs are like, they got to go out. It's like, why don't you guys wait till? If my wife is sleeping she's home alone, and like when I was in the fire department, she goes, those dogs never got up before I did, but they know I'll get up.
Yeah, I was gonna say they know
They know me,
They're probably used to you getting up early, and they're like, oh, yeah, this is.
and
not
they just
too
keep
early.
pushing it. I'm like, God, I want to sleep.
Yeah, my dogs are the same way.
Well, thanks, Jason.
Good. Yeah, you bet. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate y'all being here, and look forward to chatting with you again soon. So 73 to all. Hopefully, catch you
73
guys
all.
on Friday.
With MailChimp, you get more than a URL. You get an all-in-one marketing platform to help drive sales. With things like data-driven recommendations and powerful automation tools. Get started today at MailChimp.com/smartmarketing. MailChimp, built for growing businesses. With MailChimp, you get more than a URL. You get an all-in-one marketing platform to help drive sales. With things like data-driven recommendations and powerful automation tools. Get started today at MailChimp.com/smartmarketing. MailChimp, built for growing businesses.